The two technologies we used for our posters were Photoshop and Photoscape. Photoshop was the technology we used on the school Macs, whilst Photoscape was the one I personally used at home on my computer. Photoscape is a free version of Photoshop and therefore has more limited technology that you could probably use on the poster, meaning when we finally made our final posters, I then moved to Photoshop because it was more effective for making posters. We also use Photoshop for magazine covers because Photoshop is easy to edit certain text and pictures and add effects on the pictures as well without ruining the whole picture's quality.
We use Premiere Pro for editing our trailer because we had some understanding from it because we used it last year in our AS. It's also fairly easy to use and looks very professional with your outcome. We use Cinema 4D for our production logo animation because we researched into which were the best programs for making animation, and this was the best one that we could use on our computers, and it looks really professional.
To gather audience feedback for our film, we're on several social media platforms on the internet. One such platform was Facebook, where we'll upload posters, trailer outlines and such things onto a post where then people can comment on it and give us feedback. Otherwise we would individually message them themselves. We also use Twitter, making polls on Twitter so people could then vote on certain aspects they like the most about the trailer. For our planning stage we used multiple technologies that were useful in the aspects that we used them. We used Google Documents to create the script because Google Documents is an online source where multiple people can edit the document at the same time. We thought this was more useful than using a certain other technology because other people couldn't edit it at the same time as the original poster. At the same time, we also used iMovie to do an animatic of our storyboard we created. Originally, we'd done the storyboard on paper, but then we also done it animatic so we can present it to other people and make sure they get what the outline is on the script. For our magazine evaluation, we gathered multiple magazines from online sources and then used a program called ThingLink to then get multiple areas of that magazine and evaluate them specifically. This is because ThingLink is an easy to use program that allows us to pinpoint certain areas of the magazine and then be able to describe them in full detail. For our evaluations, we made sure to use a different type of technology for each of them. We had 4 in total. The first one we used Prezi for because we thought Prezi would be a good way to present ideas, especially for the question we used it for. The second one was Premiere Pro because we felt we needed to do a video because it represents a more visual style of being able to engage the audience with a kind of way of explaining things to them. The third one, we used Glogster. Glogster is what we found more easier to evaluate trailers and our trailer and posters on. And for the final one, we also used Premiere Pro for it, this one, because we first done it on the camera, as we're doing now, and then we will edit it in Premiere Pro. Throughout our time working on this project, we had a varying type of technologies that we found were least preferable and technologies that we found were most preferable. Certain examples of this was when we used Prezi. Prezi we used against Glogster and Google Documents because we feel Google Documents and Glogster doesn't exactly have a crisp and professional style to them when we presented them. Another technology we used was Premiere Pro over iMovie because we felt iMovie was too simplistic for trailer design. So instead we used Premiere Pro for it. We recommend Premiere Pro instead of iMovie, but it does take a lot of time to get used to, so you would need a pretty good time to be able to get used to certain aspects of it. Finally, we used Photoshop instead of Photoscape because we felt Photoscape was too limited to be able to create a good poster for our film. So Photoshop also allowed us to kind of get into the certain details that we needed to use for the poster.